Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our now annual music department orientation. I'm so glad that you made it here. Our goal today is to just get you up to speed so that you know what you're doing, avoid some pitfalls that we've seen happening before with the way that people get registered for classes and things like that, and especially for you to get a chance to know some of our faculty. Most of our full-time faculty are here. We've got a smattering of our part-time faculty are here too, and we're really, really appreciative that everybody is here giving of their time so that you can answer, you can get your questions answered and so on. I'm going to make this as succinct as possible because we all have places to be, and what we will do is go through a presentation so we can share with you some of how the program is structured. And then at the end, what we'll do is we'll all step outside. Hopefully it will have cooled down just a little bit. We'll step outside, and then faculty are just going to sit around the tables and answer your questions, kind of based on some broad categorical areas. So hopefully you will leave here tonight with a sense of how our program works, maybe one or two things that you need to do to achieve your goals, and we will avoid you being confused and having questions that are unanswered when school begins Monday. Can you believe it? I'm not sure I can. So, again, welcome. I'm Zach Matthews. I'm currently Music Department Chair. I am very, very pleased and honored to be here, teaching here. I have been, as I now have started saying, I've been teaching here since the 1990s, which for some of you sounds like before you were born, which actually might be true. This is an incredible place to study music. This is an incredible place to work. I have the most astonishing faculty. You'll get to meet some of them tonight. But the very first thing that I want to do is I want to introduce to you the Dean of our Performing Arts Division. This is Dean Solomon Cross, Dr. Cross.
Thank you, Chair Matthews, soon to be Dr. Matthews. No, just a few comments, and then I'll have to step out and get my precious babies from aftercare. Welcome to Pasadena City College. My name is Solomon Cross, and we just finished celebrating 100 years of serving students in the San Gabriel Valley, and also, I believe, 10-year anniversary of this building. Over the last 18 months, as co-collaborators, the faculty and I worked to acquire over $2 million, particularly for the music department in terms of instructional equipment, and the faculty will be introducing you to those items over the course of the next year. So why am I here? Why am I saying hello? I'm here as a co-collaborator with faculty to ensure you have a beautifully curated instructional experience so that you can develop competencies and make an impact in the creative economy. Not to go into politics too deeply, but if we think about the current political climate, there is an attack on the arts. There is an attack on creativity. There is an attack on human voice and human expression. And so as we deal with those dynamics civilly and step into this safe instructional space, I want you to know that you have a home here. You're safe here. Your faculty colleagues will end up evolving into mentors for you. I remember back in my community college days, my choir director turned out to be one of the biggest influences in my personal and professional life. I had parents who didn't fully understand what it was to be a musician. They thought I was supposed to go be a dentist or a lawyer, and I was like, I'm gonna go be a singer. And they were like, what are you talking about? And so the person that I talked to the most was my choir director, and he understood everything that I was going through psychologically and in development, and he progressed, and long story short, here I am being regenerative just like he was. So the peers that you see, your faculty colleagues, they have a lot of wisdom, a lot of advice. The biggest advice I can give you is to take full advantage of their skills and expertise and life experiences that will help you to pursue your own creative goals. Our office is in C8119. We have a staff of individuals who are there here to help you. I know Mr. Zach Graff will be speaking towards the end. And just a quick, we want to say happy birthday. His birthday's on Saturday. If you can join me, say 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! Our administrative assistant, Guadalupe Lopez, is out today, but we do have a new intermediate clerk who just started this week. Kim Mendoza, can you just please stand so they can see who you are? smart and precious human being, and I think you'll get to know her and find that as well. I'm going to go now so that the lead here, Department Chair Matthews, can guide us into the information. But I do want to acknowledge that he's been a great department chair and a good thought partner, and I know he's tired of me doing that, but he's kind of made the work in the department very easy. So thank you, Chair Matthews, for all that you do. Thank you.
All right, we're going to do a couple things out of order. You said he'd be coming up later. He wants to go now so he can get back to the office and get some work done. So I'm going to introduce Zach Graff, who is going to take it from here. Do you want a handheld or? That's fine. All right, stay there.
Hello everyone, thank you for spending part of your Thursday with us today. My name is Zach. Yes, there are two Zachs in this division. He's Zach ZAC, I'm Zach ZAK. Feel free to always say hello, and if you send the email to the wrong Zach, we'll make sure it gets to the right one. Happens a lot. I am here to kind of introduce two things in bulk, instrument checkouts and lockers. Instruments are available for checkout for the semester for those of you that don't have your own woodwind, brass, or string instruments. So band and orchestra instruments. There are some instruments that are also available for checkout on a limited term basis, meaning for a couple hours at a time. Things like a guitar, a bass, amplifiers and other equipment can be checked out downstairs in the music lab, which will be covered a little more detailed later. You will get from your professor in your class where you need that instrument a rental card. That rental card is a form of checkout, a form that you'll fill out to check out. It requires your faculty signature, and then from there you'll take that card to the student bank. The student bank is located in B as in Bravo 203. That's upstairs from the bookstore. That's B as in Bravo 203. If you don't remember that, that's okay. I'll remind you later. And you'll take that there and you'll pay your $40 fee for rental for that instrument for the semester. That is payable at the student bank in cash or check. They do not accept credit or debit cards. So before you go over there and find out that you don't have that money, make sure that you take the trip to the ATM beforehand or bring your checkbook. I know that feels pretty old school, but
Who's
that
got
is...
the checkbook with them right now? Anybody? Nah, I didn't think so.
So they do accept. We have one. We have one in the front row. Excellent. You'll bring that $40. They'll stamp that paid. Then you'll bring that back to me in the music lab, and we will issue you your instrument that you have for the remainder of the semester. Any further questions with that, you can check in with your professors. You can ask me a question. My email is available downstairs or in the office, so you can always check in with me via email, and we can schedule an appointment so I can meet you at a time that's convenient. There will be hours posted in the music lab when I will be down there facilitating these rentals and these checkouts. If that's a time that you're in class and that doesn't exactly work for you, then send me a note and say, hey, can we meet on Wednesday at 2:45 because I got 50 minutes between my chemistry class and my English class. Can I do it then? I'll do my very best to accommodate you during this first week. That is Monday through Friday, and happily get you your instruments so you can continue practicing. That's kind of why we're here. Secondarily to that, with the lockers, we will get you an appropriate size locker for your instrument. There are also book lockers, so if you're a vocalist, for instance, and you don't need to lug around a giant tuba, we have lockers for you as well. For the most part, the lockers are matched by a size to the size of the instrument. So if you've got a flute, you need a small locker. If you've got a trombone, you need a bigger locker. If you've got a bari sax, you need an even larger locker. Make sense? Cool, I see heads nodding, thank you. The other reason that I'm up here is to talk about our events. As performers, as musicians, as music majors, and music performers, you're going to see lots of concerts on the schedule. The best place to see that schedule is on the PCC website. That event calendar is updated, but we also have a social media account via Instagram that's got coverage of U.S. student performers. It's got updates for other events on campus, but for you folks that are mobile natives, we have recently in the last year launched our PCC Arts Events account, and that'll keep you updated on what's going on through the day, through the week, and through the semester. Any other questions or anything else that I need to cover?
No, you can scan this now and get logged into that. It's also on the music stands on either side. If it's not working for you, you can catch it on your way out.
And you'll be bombarded with that throughout the semester. You'll see it a lot of places, but this is also a good way to keep up with what's going on campus, not just within the music department, but the entire division, which includes music, theater, dance, journalism, as well as speech forensics, and then other events that are happening on campus. So you'll see a lot of PCC events on and around campus that might be interesting to you as students. And with that, I'll hand it over.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
So what I wanted to do next was just make sure that you are aware of who our faculty are. Starting with we've got our full-time faculty, many of whom are here now. We are in alphabetical order, so I'll just go by alphabetical order. Dr. Brian Carmody, you want to wave and say hello? You get to meet some of these folks here today. Professor Tad Carpenter, some of you who are in the marching band people, put your hands up, let's see. So y'all know who Tad Carpenter is. He's our percussion specialist. Dr. Jocelyn Chang is here in the back, piano faculty. And Dr. Daniel Cole couldn't be here tonight. He's involved in the commercial music, digital audio, does a lot of our recording classes. He's doing a lot with our new incoming popular music program that you're going to hear about later on. Guitar player. We'll be doing jazz combos in the popular music ensemble. Hands up for popular music people who are here for this new program. Got a handful. Good. Welcome. Dr. Stephen Gates, theory, musicianship, runs that program. A lot of you will have an opportunity to talk with him about that today. And we want to make sure that you are, especially those of you who are interested in finding out about, maybe you've already done some study at other colleges and we need to test you into later parts of the program. We'll be doing as much of that as soon as possible, and Dr. Gates will be talking with you about that. As will Dr. Chang and Dr. Young. I'll jump ahead. On the piano area, we do a lot of that, so watch out for those folks. Professor Roger Guerrero, choral, over here, and Luis Lopez manning all of the technology right now. His specialty area, technology, to be sure. It's with a great deal of pleasure that I get to introduce for us, for the first time, Professor Peter Head. Doctor! I tried to look you up today to see if it's a doctor anywhere. I should know this, shouldn't I? He's so new, I didn't even know that he's... So, Dr. Peter Carter, our new director of bands. Let's give him a big hand. If I'd been on the search committee, I would have seen the resume and the whole deal. Welcome, we are so pleased to have you here and very excited to get you ensconced into the middle of all of this. So here we go. I am Professor Zachary Matthews, and Dr. Anthony Moreno, who's now here, who is a voice specialist, opera, also works with our musical theater. You are a specialist. Definitely. And special. As we all are. Professor Henry Shen, Director of Orchestra, and teaches many of our other classes. And Dr. Philip Young, who I mentioned a moment ago. One L in Philip, not two. Oh, two L. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes now. I haven't mentioned this, but I just got back from a very long trip far away, and I'm completely jet lagged. So my brain is going to be spiraling. So anything I say that's crazy, my apologies. But with that said, moving on. We also have this incredible adjunct fact. Look at all of these people. Among them, we have Grammy winners and anybody heard of the band Chicago? Yeah, that guy's in Chicago. And let's see, Grammy winners and just people who are going to teach you as well as you can imagine. I want to introduce those who are here because I really, really appreciate you being here. We have David Saldana here, who's helping with theory, musicianship, and composition, and also doing some of our music appreciation courses. We have Mary Durst, who has been with us since I got here almost, doing vocal jazz and some of our appreciation courses and so on. We have Dr. Z. Linda Zuladian, who's all the way up there in our piano area. And who else? There's somebody else. Did I get everybody? Okay. Again, thank you for being here, and I welcome you to come and join us afterwards at the tables if you want to be around to answer questions or whatever you can do. We appreciate your time here. So these are the people that you'll be working with, and we're thrilled to have such an incredible faculty. And what I want you to know about this particular institution, and you're probably here because you heard we have a great reputation, and we do, and we're really proud of it. The reputation is based on the fact that we have the highest numbers of transfers. We train our students well so that they transfer. This is just these are the sort of the top 20 schools that we tend to transfer to locally. And many of you will be making your way to these colleges afterwards. Now, not all of you will be transferring, and that's good too. We train you well to go out and continue your music out into the real world. But when you transfer, you end up at all of these schools. But what's also interesting is we also transfer students to all of these out-of-state schools. This is straight from our list of alumni. We're not making this stuff up. This is where some of our students have gone out of state, out of the country, and we've transferred students to all of these major conservatory schools across the country. So there are definitely some names here that you recognize. We want you to know that we can prepare you for this. But there's a really, really important caveat in that process, is that we can prepare you for this, but you have to do the work. And the work is significant. We can prepare you if you're willing and if you come to the table with a willingness to do the work that it takes to get to these elite places. We will send you there. We've done it before and we'll do it again. We'll do a lot of it. Some of y'all out there will go to these top elite schools, and many of you will go out into the professional world. You'll go to the great schools and you will prove once again that PCC is a great place to study music. You've got to do the work, and when you do, this is the place for you to get that work done. Okay, I'm going to move right into the intricacies of our music program. Most of our students here are headed towards transferring out, getting a traditional music degree. And the way that we look at those degrees, I'm going to look at all the different degrees that we have today. But the way that we look at those degrees is we have this sort of core curriculum and we have this applied music. The core curriculum, and this is going to be the same just about wherever you go. Standard conservatory style curriculum, where you have theory, musicianship, keyboard skills, and some music history. And then on the applied music side, meaning you're going to apply music. You're going to be doing it on your instrument with your voice. You're going to be studying, you're going to be doing private lessons, you're going to be paying attention to how music is performed on this stage in many cases, in our concert music class. And then you'll be doing ensemble work. This makes up our curriculum. In essence, when you get the AA degree in music, and we're going to talk about how that works in a moment compared to the AAT, you'll find that, and this may be slightly different, this right here is one of the main reasons we are here today, because we want to make absolutely sure you understand how this works. Our traditional music degree requires 4 semesters of theory, of musicianship, and of keyboard skills. And if you're sitting here right now and you're like, but the counselor told me to just do theory and musicianship and I'm not in keyboard skills, that's why we're here. We want to make sure you understand what you need, which classes you need, and how to be prepared for your glorious future. 4 semesters of concert music, 4 semesters of private lessons, 4 semesters of ensemble, and then some theory, or some music history literature class at the end there. That's our music degree. If you do your GEs and you do that, you have our associate's degree in music. You know, I'm going to save questions for later because we're going to do a whole question and answer. And what I'd like to do is get through this as quickly as possible so we can all get out there. So hold your questions, take notes if you can, and then we'll make sure all of your questions are answered by the end of the day. This is the important part. There is an associate's degree for transfer. Sometimes AAT, sometimes ADT. They're the same thing. Many of you got automatically put into the ADT because that's kind of just what happens at the computer level. Here's the challenge with our ADT. The associate's degree prepares you to go get a bachelor's degree in music, to a Bachelor of Music program. You've got all of the things that you need here. Here's the AA degree. This is how we described it. This is just a slightly different visual version of it. If you look at the AAT, or ADT sometimes, theory, musicianship, no keyboard. What? Individual instruction and ensemble, no history class. We have to offer this degree. The state's requiring it of us. It doesn't give you all the classes that you need to transfer properly to a bachelor's degree, a Bachelor of Music degree, which is, for the vast majority of you, exactly what you want to do. If you want to go into performance, if you want to go into music education, if you want to be a composer, all of those kinds of programs that we want to send you to require not this, but this. Now, put up a hand if you're if you got automatically put into the ADT or AAT, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I need to make that change. I just want to see, there's a handful of hands. I went to counseling, I went to their meeting this summer again. And I explained this to them, and I said, we've got to work with our music students to make sure they're getting the correct degree. If they didn't get to you, if you got that set up before they got back to you, or maybe you got someone who wasn't at that meeting, go back to counseling and let them know, you know what, I'm planning to transfer to a Bachelor of Music degree. The only degree that makes sense for that is the AA degree. We want to make sure that you get that clocked in right away. And because of that, we also want to make sure that you get the classes that you need, especially including the keyboard skills classes. I'm going to talk about sequencing in just a little bit. You'll see how that works out. I'm going to pause just slightly and do something slightly out of order, because Professor Shin had to go. I put it early because he had to go, but he's not here. So we might come back. You know what? I'll just do it for him. Anybody want to? Okay. A lot of you are here because you love music and you want to perform in ensembles. And that is the thing that is for you at the core of why you're even here. And so Professor Shin was going to talk about some of the different instrumental ensembles that we have. Especially now, those of you who are doing the band thing, many of you are in the marching band. You're already in it. You've been doing it for a whole week. How was band camp? Everybody have fun? Yeah, was it hot enough today? Yeah, they're like the end of the hottest day ever. They're like, no. Do we have to be outside every day? No, it's great. This is an amazing place. We have this opportunity with the marching band that is unlike any other school, frankly, in the world. Y'all get to march. You get into the Tournament of Roses band. You get to march in the Rose Parade. We do it every single year, and that's a really special thing that we get to do here. So we have a very strong marching program. We have a terrific orchestra. I don't know what enrollment looks like right now, but it's been up in the 50s and 60s. It's a big-sized orchestra for a community college. Orchestra players out there, let's see a show of hands. We've got our strings and our orchestra people. Good. Welcome. We're glad to have you here. We have a concert band. We do marching in the fall and concert band in the spring. We just go back and forth between those two with our new director of bands. Shout out to Dr. Huerta. We're glad to have you here. And we'll get to some of the piano ensemble stuff later. We also have, and I want to make sure you know for sure, that we have ensembles that are chamber music ensembles. They are not necessarily the ensembles that count towards your co-requisites that we'll be discussing later, but the experience of being in small ensembles, whether that is small choral ensembles, small instrumental ensembles, is a really, really super valuable part of developing the skills that you need to be effective as a musician, as a leader, and as a professional. So we have some different ensembles. Right now we're kind of, all of these ensembles that do exist, woodwinds, brass, trombone and tuba ensemble. It's been a minute since we've had all of those because we've just combined them all into chamber music. Make sure that if this is your area, if you're in band or if you're in orchestra, Make sure that you spend some time in small ensembles while you're here. It's vitally important skill building. And frankly, once you've done it once, you'll want to do it every semester because it's really fun. I love playing chamber music. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's very, very exciting. And then we have a few others. We'll get to some of these later. We do have a Chinese music ensemble, which is another really cool thing that we have here at PCC. Again, we'll come back to some of these other things later. I would like to invite up Dr. Stephen Gates to talk about those core classes we were talking about, theory, musicianship.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Gates. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm coming back from a year off, so I feel like I'm stepping into something new again, much like many of you. Welcome. I work in the theory, musicianship, composition area. Our theory program is really solid. We offer a great curriculum. We start with, it's called Music 1A. That's our first semester of theory course, and it goes from 1A to B to C to D. We start with the fundamentals, and then by the end, we're looking at really advanced harmonic concepts and post-tonal music, and it's a great journey. So many of you who stick it out to the end will pass through my room, I'm sure, at some point. I look forward to that. I also work in the composition area. We offer a class called Music 12, which is an introduction to composition class. You might want to look into that. If not this year, perhaps next year when you've had a little bit more theory in your background. We also offer applied lessons in composition. If you are somebody who might identify as a composition major and really serious about writing, talk to me and we'll see if the applied music program in composition is the right fit for you right now. I think that's about it. Is there anything else you wanted me to tackle specifically, Professor Matthews?
What is musicianship?
Musicianship. That is often referred to as ear training. It's a class where we sort of apply the knowledge we're working on in theory and put it into action. We work on our ear training. We one way to think about it is we want to write down what we hear and hear what we see. So to connect the ear to the eye to the brain, and which transfers obviously to any type of music you're doing. So sight reading, dictation, listening skills, all of that is our skills that we cover in the musicianship class. All right. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you.
So while we're talking about these core classes, it's really important that you understand that our core classes are sequenced one after another. And it doesn't just mean they go in order. It means they only go at certain times. So, for instance, if you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for the piano classes, but I'll just wait, I'll do it next semester. No, you won't, because it won't be offered. Because we have that keyboard 4A is offered in the fall. It is not offered in the spring. And trust me when I say this is going to be this way for a long time. It might make sense to have one section of all these classes, but it actually doesn't for a reason that I won't bore you with. This is going to be the way that it is. So you have to stay with the sequence. And so number one is get started in the sequence in the right way. But this is also important. You have to protect these classes. Things get tough. It gets hard to make it through, and you're like, oh, what do I need to drop something, I need to let something go, this is too much. This is not uncommon. Don't worry when this happens to you. But if you're going to protect anything, it's these classes, because they're sequenced. And if you decide, I'm just going to drop theory, I'll stay with musicianship and keyboards because when I'm going to drop theory, I'm struggling. You're going to wait a year for it to come back around. So don't lose a year. Protect these classes. Protect the sequence of these classes. And you'll be fine. Also, music majors take a lot of classes. You're in a lot of ensembles. You do a lot of work. Protect yourself. Protect your time. Make sure you're not overdoing it and you're not overscheduling yourself. Here I am telling you, oh, by the way, take some more classes because you want to make sure you're signed up for all these things. But at the same time, be aware that this is a heavy lift. A music major is not an easy thing to go get. And you'll find that out the first year if you haven't noticed that already. I would like to invite Dr. Young up to talk about the piano score.
How many people are signed up for Music 4A? How many people are signed up for 4A? Great, great, great. How many people are taking the theory 1A and musicianship 2A, but are not signed up for 4A? And I know that you probably got an email from me or a video from me to kind of encourage you to do this. If you're not sure about how to do that, make sure you talk to me afterwards. It is important that we take you being a music major very seriously, but I want you to remember that every single music major in the world takes some keyboard class. That's not just what we do. Everyone in the world has to have some kind of keyboard, because the keyboard is the best instrument of all, but also because that instrument can play melody, can play harmony, has to be two different clefs. It's the foundation of you being a completely literate musician, and that's what we want for you. So I want to make sure that you are getting into that sequence. Please talk to me. I'll help you try to figure out how we can fit that into your schedule. Anything else that I need to? Because it's only offered in the fall. That's what I wanted to say. You would do better in theory and musicianship if you're in keyboard skills. It's not playing the piano. It's applying, as Dr. Gates mentioned. Musicianship is applying using your voice and writing notation using your theory in a practical way. Keyboard skills is also a practical way of using your theory and your musicianship. So I really encourage you to talk to me. We'll try to figure that out, and I look forward to seeing you all this semester.
And just to add on to that, the theory, the musicianship, and the keyboard skills are very, very carefully designed to work together, to go together, so that you're studying these important core concepts kind of from three angles at the same time. And so some folks end up doing them out of sequence, so they'll do the theory, musicianship, and then add the piano later. You can do that, but you're much better off learning them in sequence, in line with one another. It's designed that way. And what you will find is that at some universities and colleges, they actually have one class. It's like a 6-unit class where it's all those things all together. They're like, no, you're going to take it all at the same time. It's your only option. We give you the option of choosing the times that you do them, but we really want you to take those 3 core classes all together. Musicianship, theory, and keyboard skills all together. That is going to make you the strongest music major. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to now talk about the Applied Music Individual Instruction, which is basically our program where you get to have private lessons. Everybody starting out in all of our programs, whether you're jazz, classical, or pop music, you are going to be in Music 9A. This is by audition, and we have auditions next week, Friday, 10 a.m., right here. The classes don't begin until the second week, so all of y'all who are starting out in this program, we all start with Music 9A, and then we have, from there we go to 9B for the classical students, and then 2 semesters of 9C. Remember that, you'll come back and there'll be lots of confusion. You'll be like, but I've already done C. Remember a year and a half ago when we talked about this? And then on the jazz or commercial side, jazz, pop music side, that will be 9D, from A straight to D. Yes, that will be the co-requisite. And then 2 semesters of 9E. The way our applied music program works is you sign up for a class where everybody meets all together, all mixed in. Instrumental, vocal, jazz, classical, pop music, everybody's all in one class, all mixed up. And we perform for one another, and we talk about our performances. We talk a little about the music, and we talk a lot about the performance skills. That class meets every week for an hour. And because you're in that class, you will get assigned a private teacher. So don't look for who's teaching that class. Are they, it's a piano teacher, but I play the drums. No, sign up for any of the sections. In fact, I highly recommend, if you're going to do 4 semesters of this, I highly recommend that you take different sections so you get the perspective of the different teachers. I teach one, take one of mine. Professor Shin teaches one, Professor Young teaches one, Professor Guerrero teaches one. Make sure that you're getting this broad experience, and that's one of the ways that you can do that, by taking the different sections. And sometimes you're going to choose it based on what fits your schedule. That's okay, right? Because you're not choosing the teacher based on their instrumental area of expertise. You want to be in a class where you're getting a whole mix of different stuff and getting that broad experience, right? So we will do a more full orientation of the applied music program when we do those auditions next Friday. The class doesn't begin until week 2, so that still makes sense. There'll be space in those classes, and you'll find out a lot more about those. But again, as part of our major curriculum, you're going to do 4 semesters of this, and we want to get you in right away and get you started. I will look forward to seeing most all of you next Friday when we do that orientation and the auditions. There are audition guidelines, if you want to take a picture of that. Y'all got an email from me that was like, come to the orientation, and it had a bunch of links and stuff. You can click on those links. You can get to all these links. All of these slides are there. So any of the stuff that you see on here, you should be able to click on if you're not getting it right now. But there's some basic guidelines for those auditions. You've got a week to prep for those. And what I want you to understand, don't be intimidated by the auditions. We just want to make sure you are comfortable with your instrument. We want to make sure you have some fundamental skills. This is not the place to teach beginners. This is, the idea here is that you did some music in high school or some equivalent to that, and you're coming in to then develop your individual performance skills. You should be able to read a little, you should be able to play some scales, do a little bit of literature. I'll be honest, the bar is not set totally high. We just want to make sure you know what you're doing, and that we're not starting out with beginners in this program. Check out those guidelines, they will make it clear. And in different areas, it's different expectations, and so those are all detailed within those guidelines. If you can't make it to the orientation and the auditions, come and find me next week. I'm down in the music lab. I'm easy to find. There's a sort of old orientation. We need to redo it. But it'll give you an idea of the program. You can check it out, and then come to me and we'll figure out the audition thing. But please, 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 we would much prefer to see you, hear you at the auditions on Friday. Okay, I put up Louis Lopez, who wants to talk to you about making sure that you get your GEs done.
Right. Thank you. Okay, so you probably saw all those classes that you're going to be required to take, and I've been like, okay, how am I going to fit these G's into my curriculum? Like I'm already kind of overwhelmed with all this information right now. We got a plan for you, okay? So a lot of students, we have it structured with as 2 years. A lot of students end up taking our program for 2 to 3 years, right? And it's because of this GE requirement. So you can space it out and think of it as 3 years, but if you're like itching to get this stuff on the road, here's what we suggest. In the fall, we say take 2 IGETSs to your GEs. 1 in the winter, 1 in the summer, and then 2 in the spring. But there's a little hack that's already built into it. As part of your GE requirement, you probably saw you had your music history requirement. That is a GE in your humanities, right? So it's already built in that some of your GEs are taken care of, and you can take those in any of those areas there, right? And then you can, again, we have it in the different areas that you have different aspects that I get see that you have to do. Some students wait to the very end to do other Gs and front load their music stuff. Some do the opposite. They front load the Gs and do other music stuff towards the end. One thing that we can recommend to you is that we want you to be transfer ready if you're looking to transfer, so that last thing you do is that you're doing ensembles, you're performing, you're with your instrument, you're practicing and rehearsing right before you enter that 4-year path, right? So make sure that you have a kind of a plan involved. Don't wait to the very end to just do all your Gs. Space them out a little bit while you're here, okay? But I'm really excited to get to know all you guys. And if you have any questions about this stuff or anything else we talked about, come see us down in the music lab.
So, one thing I do want to make clear is this is a completely arbitrary list of the order of things. You do it in whatever order makes sense for you. And sometimes that ordering will be about what you're able to schedule. Sometimes the GEs are hard to get. Anybody notice that? Like, I want to get that class, and it's hard to find the one that's scheduled out for you. The order is less important, although I do recommend looking at some of these, like your science classes, especially those that have labs. If you do those in the intersession, they're a little more intense, but you're not trying to do a big science class plus a lab while you're also in 5 different ensembles and all the work that you like to do in the regular semester. So counseling has recommended that we do it that way, that we encourage intercession, GE class registration of some of those more complicated ones. That seems to be effective. So try that on for size. Okay, we are really excited this year. We have this new degree program. It's taking popular music as legitimate academic study, where we are using some of our existing course structure, bringing in a lot of new courses. There's a lot to learn about that, but this is something that's happening across the country in a big way, and we are way out in front of a lot of places. We're one of the first community colleges in the nation that's doing this, and we are looking at the 4-year institutions that are creating popular music programs. There are elements of it that are very definitely a wave of the future, and so we're excited to have this new program ready for you, starting Monday. I've been saying like it's starting in the fall. It's like, oh, it's now, it's here, it's happening. For those of you who are here for the popular music program, we're really, really excited to have you here as our initial cohort. And I'm going to ask your patience as we build this plane while we're flying it. There's a lot for us to figure out. We've been doing meetings all summer trying to sort out and make sure we've got all of the requirements in place. A special shout out to Professor Lopez and Professor Carmody, Dr. Carmody, Dr. Cole, who is not here tonight. Lots of late nights and extra work, and we appreciate your efforts very, very much to get all of this pulled together. You will be finding out more. The good news is right now, everything is coming from our core curriculum. There's one new class, which is our popular music ensemble, which filled up instantly. There's a bunch of you in there. Anybody here on the wait list for popular music ensemble? Okay. Dr. Cole will be managing that when that class begins on Monday. But let me just give you a quick overview of how this curriculum works. We're starting out with the same core fundamental Music 1A, Music 2A, that everybody has to get your foundational theory and musicianship skills together. From there, it gets a little complicated where we push the wrong button, where we move into the pop jazz theory, and then this MUSP1 is music theory with a songwriting focus. So we go from fundamentals to more broad popular and jazz theory, and then feed that into a songwriting-focused theory class. And then we have we're building into, from musicianship, we're building into a keyboard-oriented musicianship class where everybody works on keyboard skills that are focused in that area. In the technology area, now this is an area I want to be really clear about because there's a little bit of flexibility here. If you have very little music theory background, this makes sense. Take Theory 1 and then get into Music 94, which is our Intro to Music Theory, Intro to Music Technology. Professor Lopez is running that very, very nicely. And has a little bit of a music theory prerequisite. Now, if you know you really want to get deep into the core of the recording arts side of the popular music world, and you have some theory background, you can read a little bit, you might consider putting Music 94 here in the first semester, so you can do 96A, B, and C. We have 3 levels of our recording classes. If you think that's you, maybe come talk to Professor Lopez or me afterwards. This is in this position because it has this as a prerequisite, but if you can meet that prerequisite because you have some knowledge, and you definitely know you want to do all the recording stuff, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a few minutes, you might consider changing that schedule. And then, like in the other areas, we've got 4 semesters of lessons, 4 semesters of concert music, and 4 semesters of being in the ensemble. So a little bit different. Again, you should have all picked up one of these packets. It's over there on your way in. It's got all of this detailed out for you. And after this session is over, you can ask some more questions about that. But I just wanted you to see that this is a very different kind of program. And we are working to actually expand this curriculum a little bit as we get the opportunity, as our curriculum committee allows us to. So this might be growing over time just a little bit. Now, this is not me saying, hey, if everybody should switch to popular music. Here's what happened. When this got put up, it didn't end up in the system where you could sign up to be a popular music major. So some of y'all are probably like, yeah, I've heard about this program, but I can't even sign up for it. And so what happened was many of you just signed up to be a music major or whatever. And we know that you probably wanted to do this. This list, this QR code, which by the way is on the music stands over there, if that isn't written for you. If your intention is to be here as a popular music major and you couldn't sign up for it, simply fill out that form. It's literally just asking for your name, your ID, and your PCC email. Just so that we have a list. I'll send it to counseling and they will switch your major. So don't fill this out if you don't want your major switched. If you're just looking to get some question answered, don't do that. Just come talk to me about your questions. But if you should be a popular music major, so right now in our systems, there are exactly no popular music majors. Which when I first looked at that, I'm like, uh-oh. We made a thing and nobody signed up for it. But actually, it just turned out nobody could sign up for it. So there was a little bit of panic. We got that solved, and counseling was like, just make sure we know who they are and we'll move them over. So please fill this out. You'll just get switched over, and then counseling will know what to do with you when they're making your ed plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So fill that out, sign that up, and then I will, at the end of next week, I will send that to counseling so that we catch all of you. Okay? Oh, me again. Okay, so we have another degree program, Music Entrepreneurship. This is a degree program that is well designed for having more business-oriented skills. This is not as much a performance degree, although it's well suited for people who are performers who want to focus a little bit more on the business side. And so we kind of have these different tracks. If you look in the package, the degree is detailed, and then on the back side of the degree page, it shows you the different tracks. And basically the way this works is everybody does some theory, some musicianship, some technology, 2 business classes, and then everybody does either more traditional theory or pop jazz theory or more business. So you start out, everybody does the same stuff, And then depending on your focus, you kind of do these different things. And then there's just a giant pile of electives for which you're supposed to get 18 units. This is not a small degree program. This is a significant degree. And from all of those, you can piece together, kind of a la carte, a program that makes sense for you, for the things you want to do, for the things that you want to learn. Now, this was designed partly to show our traditional music majors some of the other things that are available to them. And those of you who are doing the traditional music major, if you are going to go out into the world, into the professional world, the performing world, the composing world, many of these things absolutely make sense to you. And so what we found is that we have a lot of students who do kind of a lot of both. And we have students who've done both degrees. You can walk out, one of our student workers walked out of here with 6 different associate's degrees. You just keep studying here. And for some of you traditional AA students, this might still make sense. I put this in here last year and I left it here. This is an important class. This is our notation class. And I want to make sure in the winter that we have enough of you all signed up for it. Those of you who are doing performance, those of you who are doing composition, absolutely need to develop your notation skills. We have a program where you can get certified in Sibelius if you take this class. I just want you to put a pin in this for the winter. Music, we call it music copying. It doesn't mean you're copying stuff. Music copying is a term of art for people who do the art of writing music down for others to perform from it, and for your music to be well performed. So just note that that's there, and it is one of the electives in the entrepreneurship degree. Okay, running back from the soundboard to talk about the soundboard. There's Lopez.
He's back. All right. So for those of you that are like, well, I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm not sure if I want to go so far into music production, but I do want to get my feet wet and see what it's all about. And I don't have a lot of time trying to do my GEs and do my music major. There is a certificate for you. This is a kind of the intro version of the entrepreneurship certificate. What this comprises is all our 96A sequence. That first one, 96A, that's like Pro Tools. You learn it. You actually get certified in it. That's a $2,000 certificate you get for free by just taking that class. So you get the opportunity to take that. So 96B, that'll be with me. That's like studio production. You use microphones. We have a beautiful console and recording studio. You work with musicians. I bring some really amazing musicians to come and record with y'all. And then 96C, that's mixing. You're taking those productions and professional recordings and learning how to make them sound incredible on Spotify, YouTube, and all the streaming platforms, and develop your ears, right, in the production side of things. And then to the right, while the entrepreneurship is like a little broader, we're a little more focused on music-oriented electives here. You pick and choose 4 units. Right? That's like 2 classes on those lists. So you do those. And of course, music business class. I can't promote that one enough. That's with our chairman Zach Matthews here. Incredible. You want to learn how to promote yourself, identify yourself as a musician, as an artist, and learn the back end, how to keep things organized, how to deal with money. Really great class. 2 electives, and you have a certificate. Okay, I'm going to send it on back to Zach Matthews. We'll probably fill in some gaps I have for my explanation here.
No, that's good. A lot of our students, again, traditional music major students, are also taking and adding on this certificate. You notice in the entrepreneurship certificate that you can do up a lot of your electives that are the same here, so you can actually tag on this certificate. And then when you're out there, it's on your resume, you've got an actual degree in commercial music that shows that you've done these things. Okay, so we're going to just do a very quick kind of round robin, talking about some of the other areas that we have here. hopefully, we've done a good job of covering just kind of broadly what our different degree programs look like. And there'll be some crossover with these courses, and then you'll also see how some of our other areas. So I'd like to introduce Professor Roger Guerrero, who's going to talk about our choral courses.
For the video. This is for the video. So can I just scan and do it from there? I'm Professor Roger Guerrero, and I teach a lot of classes, but the two big ones I have are up there in the top right corner there, the concert choir, MUSC 6-3, by the way, 063, and then chamber singers 6-4. First of all, chamber singers, I've been doing auditions already, individual auditions the last 2 weeks. About 40 plus singers have been auditioning for that. And that ensemble is for advanced singers who also are choir nerds at heart. And if they're coming from high school, they sang in their advanced high school choir programs. And they're either vocal performance majors on the classical or musical theater side, and or they're music ed people who want to teach choir, who want to teach voice. Also, in the mix of that choir, but more so in concert choir, are other music ed kids who might be instrumentalists, who are interested in being like a band teacher, but they apply for a job at a middle school or a high school, and they've got their band, but then they have to teach a choir class. And so a lot of them who are interested in that will also take concert choir. And then also in concert choir, which is a non-auditioned ensemble, Professor Gates was up here talking about musicianship classes. And he used a little phrase in there, sight reading, sight singing, and ear training. And so for those of you who are taking 1B, 1A and 1B, concert choir is a great place to learn a lot in terms of ear training. So highly encourage both of those classes. And then one last thing about both of them, it's a very social organization, the choir classes. It's a very big bonded community of 80 to 90 singers or so, and they tour every year. And so just if you're interested in doing one of those tours, this year the proposed tour is to Spain and Portugal in the spring during spring break. And that's chamber singers and then members of concert choir. But at the end of the day, both of those choirs are great classes, great social opportunities, and great learning opportunities for you. All right, that's all I have. Oh, yes. And our vocal jazz ensemble is another one of our core classes, Jazzadina, and that's Professor Mary Durst right here. And she is phenomenal teacher, inspirational, motivational, and has more energy than any 25 or 30 of you. So make sure she'll be here afterwards. So if you're interested in Jazzadina vocal jazz, please talk to her. Okay? Great. Thank you.
And Dr. Moreno is going to talk about some other vocal-oriented things. Vocally oriented.
Yes, the specialist is now up here. Hello, folks. My name is Dr. Anthony Moreno. I do some of the other voice stuff, voice special things. Namely, I'm the director of the Opera Workshop and Opera Production Program. So in the fall, we'll do opera scenes. We'll get you prepared to be on stage, to use your opera voice. And then in the spring, usually we'll put on a production. So last spring we did Mozart's Così fan tutte, and it was a lot of fun, yes. And as I establish a relationship more with the theater program, I'll get more involved with the musical theater productions that will happen every other year. We switch, doing an opera 1 year, musical theater every other year. Some of the other classes I teach in the vocal world are the voice techniques classes. While I would not argue with Professor Young that maybe the piano isn't the greatest instrument, I wouldn't dare deny that you all have a voice. And you should all be using your voice for musicianship, for choir, for everyday life. So if you're ever interested in learning how to use your voice, you should absolutely take a voice techniques class. This will help with your musicianship class in order to la 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 la, whatever the melody is, right? So you'll be able to sing easily and freely. Yeah, there they are, 71A and B and 72. This year we're bringing back a few classes that haven't been taught in a while. Diction, so if you want to enunciate well, come see me, please. Yeah, and that's all for the voice part. I'll talk a little bit about the survey courses in a moment, but thank you very much.
And now Dr. Chang is going to talk about our piano courses and piano ensembles.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Johnson Chan, and it's my honor to welcome you to PCC and introduce piano courses Music 41, 42, 43, and 44. So for Music 41 and 42 class piano, it's a 4-semester sequence designed for anyone who wants to improve sight reading and hand coordination. Class piano teaches you how to read sheet music more effectively. Music 43 piano ensemble is for piano students to collaborate with each other, working on pieces for 1 piano for hands, 2 piano for hands, or even larger groupings. Music 44 piano accompanying class is for instrumental or voice majors who want to collaborate with a piano student on a weekly basis. This class is this course provides excellent preparation for your audition, juries, and competitions. So in Music 43 and 44 piano ensemble classes, you will also have an opportunity to perform at the end of the semester right here in Westerbeck Rizal Hall for your friends and families. My colleagues and I are eager to set you up for success, and I hope that you will have fun learning and learn with curiosity, support each other, and enjoy every second of it.
All right, and then the next set of ensembles, this is Dr. Brian Carmody.
Hello, everybody. We have a lot of great offerings in the jazz and commercial music area in terms of ensembles, both large and small. And if you're interested in any of those, I would encourage you to just show up at the audition. If the class is waitlisted or whatever, that doesn't really mean anything. Retention is based on a successful audition, so show up for what you want to play. And you'll get constructive criticism if you don't end up making the gig that semester. We'll tell you what you need to do to get better and have more success in the future. So yeah, they're all listed there. We have the large ensembles, the combo classes, vocal combo, pop music. I don't have to read it for you. You guys can see it. If you're interested in jazz or commercial music, you will probably come to my office at some point, and I hope to work with you in an ensemble. Anything else you want me to hit?
Stay here, Brian.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's all kind of more of the same. In all of those classes I just mentioned, improvisation is a foundation there. Not that that should dissuade you if you're kind of intimidated by improvisation, I'll say. There's definitely room to grow. We have a very beginning improvisation class that doesn't even have a prerequisite. So I would highly encourage you to get into the improvisation sequence, of which there's 3 semesters worth of classes. And I think it's a worthy skill of kind of exploring, even if you don't think it might be where you want to spend a lot of your time. It gets the creative juices flowing as far as like creating original melodies and rhythms on the spot, which, you know, breeds songwriting skills, breeds composition. It kind of lets you come up with like new ideas and ways to phrase familiar kind of melodies, right? Even just taking a melody that you already know and playing it a different way, that's kind of using that same idea. And then what, the techniques classes? Yeah, so for a lot of you, if you're trying to get into the Music 9 sequence as a bass player or as a drum set player, if you don't make that audition, these classes are really great for getting your skills up and ready for next audition, which those happen every semester. So if you audition on Friday for one of those instruments and you don't get in, one of these basic technique classes would be probably the recommendation to get you ready for the next. Also, if you're in the popular music lane, I think you should probably take all those classes. Because even if you're a vocalist or a keyboard player or something, having some bass chops, having some drum chops, like, is really important for understanding how the music will fuse together.
And especially for those of you who are interested in the recording side of things. I mean, I know so many people who end up being producers in the studio and laying down scratch tracks and so on with some basic skills on these instruments. So know that having a broad skill set where you can do multiple things, still having your focus area, still having your primary instruments, but developing some of these skills. We do have a non-popular music major songwriting course that lots of folks take, as well as this, included in this jazz commercial techniques, we've got this beginning techniques of popular singing. It's not currently part of our pop music degree, but probably y'all should take it. Those of you who are in that degree program should be developing those skills. Todd Carpenter couldn't be here. He went from the band camp to going to the USC band camp, so he couldn't be here tonight. He was supposed to talk about percussion courses. I will point out that we have a percussion ensemble, and we also have a percussion techniques class. I believe there's still some space in the techniques class. And that's another one of those techniques classes that's really valuable for you needless to say, for percussionists to go in there and really develop those skills on all kinds of different instruments, especially hand percussion instruments. But for those of you who are doing other musical styles, for those of you who are going into the studio, that's a great place to learn some skills that you will actually make use of. So check out the percussion techniques class. It's this one, 87A. Definitely worth looking into. And back to Dr. Moreno. Woo-hoo.
Thank you. I didn't start out Dr. Anthony Moreno. No, I started a City College student just like you. And I find that it's most important to kind of expand your horizon in what music classes that you are interested in taking. It's my opinion that the survey courses are some of the best courses you could take. Why? Because you already have the experience listening to music. And what better class that you could take than just listening, going to see, and experiencing more music, right? So music appreciation is one of the classes that I teach. It's kind of an introduction to musical terms, generalized music history. You're getting to know some of the things that you might be experiencing along the way throughout your studies, but some of the other classes are an immense joy to experience if you're interested in African American music. I know Music Cultures of the World isn't taught every semester, but it gives you an idea of what kind of music is around outside of Western European classical music and popular music. But take one of these classes and you never know what might inspire you. So the survey courses, if you have any questions, come see me. Thank you very much. That's not me.
Okay. And one of my goals here tonight was for you to meet everybody. What I wanted you to see was them running around a lot. So here comes. That's a little bit of it.
I'm back. One thing I don't know if I've made clear, but myself and Professor Matthews, we are down in the music lab. Music lab, if you haven't been down there yet, is the hub of the music department. It's where you're going to be practicing and checking out equipment and books and asking advice and maybe shedding some tears in our offices. Who knows? But is an incredible resource that we offer to you guys. Let me tell you a little bit about it. I don't know if there's an extra slide you got prepared on the back end, but I can talk about anything. No problem. So one of the biggest things we have down there is our practice rooms. We just got incredible new pianos that are going to be placed in different parts of our music school here. Some of them down in the music lab. A real acoustic piano for you to practice your 4A, 4B, 4C classes in. Not only that, in the first couple weeks of courses, the practice rooms are kind of first come, first served. Come down, see what's available, practice in that room. In week 3 of our music lab, we do reservations for those same practice rooms. So depending on the class that you're taking and the amount of classes you're taking, you'll be allotted a certain blocks of time that you can reserve a practice room for the day, time, and type of room that you need for the rest of the semester. Okay, not many music schools, even the 4 years, do this. Right, so we take time, we sit down with each one of you and hash out your schedule down in the music lab. Right? So that's week 3. Music majors on Tuesday, non-music majors on Thursday. That's one big element to it. But let's say you're a guitarist and you don't want to lug your amp around. We have amps for you to check out. You're a drummer and you can't afford the cymbals. We have cymbal sets for you to check out. Right? You're a vocalist and you can't hear yourself in rehearsals. We have vocal amps for you to check out. We also have Zach Graff, who's right over here, who will be in charge of making sure you can't afford, a $30,000 instrument like a bassoon or a violin. You can check those instruments out down in the music lab through our lab tech, Zach Graff. Not only that, we have tutoring down in the music lab. I don't know if we have any tutors in the crowd right now, but we have peer tutors, students that have gone through the courses, have taken the classes that are in the music lab and scheduled throughout times to serve all your needs, some in the morning, afternoon, evening, and have a great deal of knowledge as to how to navigate these courses that you find yourself in. Right? I'm trying to think of one more thing. Oh, audio equipment. We have recording studios and microphones for you to check. USB mics you can plug in your laptop and use in any of the rooms. They're acoustically treated, so you can get good quality audio in those rooms. We have computer stations with software on them and MIDI keyboards for you to check out. We have electronic pianos, so when the practice rooms fill up, you can still practice keyboard skills, right? And Zach Graff is mentioning something else.
When is the music lab open?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm surprised you don't know that. It's open at 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Thursday. It's open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Friday, and then 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. We're actually open on the weekends, right? There's so many things, so many other resources here. Supervisors there, we have lots of equipment, but I'm sure I forgot something. If you want more information on that, come see me and Zach Matthews. One of us is there almost all the time. So.
Can you tell us about the apprenticeship program for the students who are doing that?
Oh, great.
So they know what's going on.
So one of the things that we just started a year ago, we are thinking we need to, we want to be able to have recordings of concerts, right? And we had been doing a lot of, we've been starting our commercial music certificates here. But the students, there's a gap between what they're learning in the classroom and then actually having a career, right? So what we designed was an apprenticeship program that after they go through our courses, our commercial certificate courses, if they've shown themselves to be really on that track and wanting that kind of experience, hire them to not only set up and and all the equipment and learn how to run the board you see in front of you over there. But also record and mix and deliver every single concert that we do here. Not just, and we have noon concerts, evening concerts. They use from a classical orchestra to a rock band, right? So we started doing this last year. We've had 8 students come through, and 7 of the 8 students end up getting jobs either in live sound or in recording studios. So we're very proud of this program. We've had a lot of success with it, and we're going to be continuing it this year. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, pursuing for a career path, come talk to me, okay?
So this has given you opportunity to meet some of our faculty. It's really important that you understand what a valuable resource we have here. These people are so willing to spend time with you, helping you be successful. We all have a requirement of office hours, and when you don't show up to our office hours, we feel lonely. Don't make us feel lonely. Come to our office hours, ask us your questions. So the faculty here, in a way that's pretty unusual, are absolutely a critical resource for you. We want you to take advantage of that. And I also want you to understand that in our music lab, if it isn't Professor Lopez or myself, we have other music faculty who are there being lab supervisors. You know what that means? We are there to help. We're there to teach. It's technically a teaching position. It's not just somebody who does technology and checks out keys or whatever. We are music faculty, so you can come to us with your music questions. If you aren't able to get with one of our tutors, which we have spread throughout the day, we've got a really good, robust tutoring schedule. Go to them first and work with them, and they can spend some really good quality time with you. But don't feel shy about coming to one of us with your theory question, with your musicianship question, with your how do I develop a practice routine type question. It's why we staff the lab with music faculty. It's very unusual. We're lucky to have it. It's a very, very expensive way to staff a music lab. But we feel like it benefits you. So I want you to remember that the faculty are your best resource. Take advantage of the office hours. They get posted. You should show up. You should go ask your faculty questions. It's a really important part of what we do. And what you'll find is that you get a whole lot more of that here at PCC and in junior colleges in general. Then when you transfer and you go to a 4-year, you will have a harder time getting them to take time with you. Take advantage of it now. Build your skills now. Take advantage of this place where we really, really care about your success, and we will work tirelessly to make sure that you have what you need. Please, please take advantage of the faculty. And with that said, speaking of taking advantage of the faculty, we'll move on to our next thing, which is that we're going to go do some breakouts. Stick around if you want to, if you have questions. If not, we have presented everything we wanted to share with you at this point. Give us just a couple of minutes to get set up outside. I'll hand out cards to everybody. Look for the card that has the thing on it that is what you want to ask the question about. You probably already know who you want to talk to. So go looking for those folks. We've set up some tables out there. Faculty, if you can just take a minute I'll hand out the cards to you. And we will reconvene outside. Again, I want to thank the faculty for being here. I want to thank you, the students and family members, for being here and taking the time to make sure that you're getting a good start. Hopefully we answered lots of good questions for you, and we'll follow up out there. It's almost Monday. Here we go. Good luck, everybody.